like the psychological aspects of learning the language. And I think from your present short summary and outlook, it is clear that there is quite a lot of apurva, like some original contribution in your research, because you're bringing together the ancient conceptual schemes, the ancient agama and modern agama, modern traditions, modern conceptual schemes. So that is there. Apurva is there. You have a very good pratyaksha. You have a good number of primary evidence, both in the traditional texts, and also you have been doing modern research, in the sense current research that you tested with these people, your subjects. You have done interview, if I have understood correctly. And then you have an argument, the anumana is there. So pratyaksha, anumana, and agama are there. And also there is something apurva. So my question is, in going forward, is Bhartrihari still important, or you feel that you have fully absorbed his wisdom and you can now continue to test your theories further with the confronting, let's say, confronting this knowledge with the testing and the research with the subjects who also know Hindi, Marathi, English, etc. Which was, of course, for Bhartrihari, he was more or less monolinguistic, in the sense pure Sanskrit, and some knowledge of Apabhramsha and Prakrit was apparently there. So what is your view on that? How can you extend the view of the old grammarians, especially Bhartrihari, who were working in a monolinguistic, or in my view, rather diglossic situation, but it's only Sanskrit and approximative Sanskrit. And now you are confronting that with modern time, where people are familiar with English, Karnataka, Kannada, Konkani, etc. What is your view on extending this concept for, let's say, non-Sanskrit linguistic experiences?
So that was the first issue that we faced while translating theoretical discussion in the experimental outlook, because currently there is no like monolingual participants that we get. So that remains always a question whether like the ancient theories are Sanskrit specific theories, or are they language independent theories. With the definitions of sentences that we tested on Sanskrit and Marathi, we found that it is applicable to both languages with native speakers and non-native speakers. But there are some minute maneuvers that native speakers can perform that non-native speakers cannot perform if they haven't learned that language before age 4 or before age 7, that we found in earlier experiments. With this experiment, since it is only one aspect is analyzed, that fine tuning, I cannot comment anything on that based on this experiment. Coming to Bhartrihari, even though as you said, Professor, that he's a monolinguist person, there are lots of theories on language and objective reality that he talks about, which becomes the projected reality when that comes to our language, that pratibhasate, prachakshate, vivartate, etc. Those are language independent, and basically the cognitive aspect in Vakyapadiya is at the abstract level. The Sphota theory that he talks about is something that is innate, which is language independent. So that is the special feature of Bhartrihari, and I think the importance of Bhartrihari will still remain as long as we talk about language science. Rather, I think that we should focus more on those theories by adopting modern methods of inquiry, especially cognitive semantics. Then we will understand that it is not just the text of philosophy of language or the text on grammar, but it is much more than that. It will directly take us into the human processes, human cognitive processes, not just language, but other processes also.
Yes, thank you very much. You say it is language independent, these theories of Spota, etc. But maybe you want to say it is applicable to all languages, means to all human languages, rather than saying that it is independent of language, which would be completely beyond. Like paravak is maybe beyond speech, or but if it is what you want to say, I guess is that it is applicable to all human languages. Those
Yes.
processes of spota and from spota to the Vaikari Vag and Madhyama Vag, these levels, they are there for everyone who speaks, even if they speak Yeonisean or Korean or Chinese. Or so, okay, so thank you very much. I think, and any other questions, I would first ask from the presenters whether there's any other question, and the ones from the ones from the chat I will keep to the end. The ones from the public I will keep to the end. But now, is there any brief question to Dr. Gajam? If not, then I think we can go on with Professor Shivani. So I'm happy to see you here. We have your presentation. I will quickly introduce you. Professor Shivani from Karnataka Sanskrit University. Yeah. So we have the professor she is professor at Karnataka Sanskrit University, KSU, in Bangalore. And she's also director of publications and head department of Vyakarana and the editor of the Karnataka University Journal. She has authored several books and journal articles. She is developing innovation technology in Pali language, which is a unique, one of its kind technology, about which maybe we will hear later. But the topic for today is still this avyaya, and it is the theory. Let me get it correctly. The avyaya. The role of avyaya in Sanskrit syntax. So I give the main stage is for you, Professor Shivani, please.
Respected Chair, Huban Ji, and the presenters and participants. At the outset, I thank the organizers for giving opportunity to share a few of our views. Can I share my presentation?
I hope you have given that to the organizers to...
You can click the share screen button there. And
there is share screen button.
Okay. So my topic is role of avyaya in Sanskrit syntax. So as we know, avyaya plays a vital role in construction of sentence. See, avyayas are not yes, Panini categorized avyaya under subantas, but Yaska classifies classifies words in different ways. Means nama, akhyata, upasarga, and nipata. So nipata means avyayas. They are separated from nama and akhyata, means nouns and verbs. So it has in syntactical syntactical or semantical, if we take syntax or semantics, so Avya plays a vital role. Sometimes Avya changes the vibhaktis. Sometimes Avya changes the karaka role. Sometimes it supports to complete the sentence. So different roles, Avya plays different roles in sentence construction. That's why the study of Avya is very, very important. So we can take some examples. We can see Avya is very common. Avya, the usage of Avya is very common in Sanskrit language. Not only in Sanskrit, other languages also we can see Avyas. So for example, Saha Gachati. Saha Gachati, we know that is affirmative sentence. So if we add one na, one Avya, so Saha Nagachati. So he does not go. That is negative. And in we change the Avya, we add eva, so Saha eva gachati. He only goes, that is determinative. And if we add api, so api gachati, then he also goes. So that is a sangrahartha, inclusive. So like this, no, we have the Avyas change the meaning of the sentence also. Okay. So and also the position of Avya is also important. So we say Sanskrit is comparatively free word order language, but we can see here Saha Vidyalayam Gachati. He goes to the school. Saha Vidyalayam Eva Gachati. It means he goes only to school. Saha Eva Vidyalayam Gachati. So he only goes to school. Saha Vidyalayam Gachati Eva. No, that is a must. He must go to school. So like that, no, that Avya changes the meaning. Avya changes the role. Avya changes the structure. So Samrachanastare, Arthastare, it's a Veda. We can see the difference in structural and meaning level. So we can say Avyas are not nouns, not sarvanamas, not visheshanas, not kriyapadas. So, nama, sarvanama, visheshana, kriyapada, vyatiriktani, apayani. That's why they say, Yaska says, sattva-pradhanani namani, sattva-pradhanani namani. So, sattvam means dravya. So these nipatas, Panini says chadayo asatve. So the chai etc. Nipatas are asatve. So adravya vachakaha. So we can see the classification of avyas. See, avyas can be, so the broad classification of avyas. So some ganas are there. Means avyas are listed out somewhere. So swaradaya, pradaya, etc. And no, nipatas are also called avyas. Nipata means cha, etc. And few nipatas are called gatisapnyaga according to the nature of the shabdas. Means no, so gatisapnyagas, no, it's something related to kriya. And few gatisapnyagas are called upasargas. And some nipatas are called karma pravachaniya. This is the broad classification of avya. Some ganas, some are called nipatas, some are called gatisapnyakas, and few are upasargas under gatisapnyaka and karma pravachaniya. So we can see many ganas, swaradi nipata, swara, etc. So sets are there. Chadayo satve, pradeha, prapara, etc. These are the ganas. And also if we go more into details, so nipatas are used in many different meanings, various meanings. For example, sangraharthakaha, see Ramaha, Lakshmanaha cha. So Rama and Lakshmana, these are sangraharthaka. Vigraharthakaha. So Stanurayam Uta Purusha, that is the example. So some emphatic sometimes, Nischayartha, Noonam, Avashyam Agachadi. He comes. So Anumatyarthakaha. So Evam Astu, Badham, Yeshame Stiro Nischayah. These are permission, giving permission. And sometimes negatives, na, ma, etc. are used. Pape, Ratim, ma, krataha. So these are the negations. Sometimes prashnarthakaha, api kushali bhavan, or kim bhavan agachati, like that, interrogatives. So sometimes hetvarthakaha, argumentatives. Parvate vannihi, dhumohi drishyate. Parvate vannihi, kutaha dhumohi drishyate. So these are the hetvarthakaha, like the sadrishyarthakaha, iva shabda and evam shabda. Samsaraha Arnava iva or Yadyevam, etc. Like the Sambodhanarthakaha, vocative, He Krishna, Sambodhana, He Rama, He Shabda, Re Shabda, Srunu Re Pantha, all these are vocatives. Like that interjunctions, Bhavodreka Bodhakaha, Am, Aho, etc. Sometimes, no, in poems and all, we can see some nipatas are used just for filling the for chandas and all. Vakyapuranaha, u, kimu yatra chatushtayam. Actually, kim, that u is added. U is nipata. And upasargaha kriya yoga. You know what is upasarga? Upasrishtaha means no kriya saha avyavahita purvam samyuktaha. No gap in between kriya and upasarga. Atyantam close body. So and pradayaha, 22 shabdas are there. They are called upasargas. So for example, if you take one verb kring, so we can say ati. If you add ati karoti, that means exceeds. Adhi karoti, authorized. Anu karoti, imitates. Apakaroti, harms. Upakaroti, but the verb remains same. But adding different upasargas, we are getting different meanings. Upakaroti favors. Upaskaroti elaborates, like that. If we can add 2 or more upasargas, that also that meaning gets changed. Apa akaroti, apa upa akaroti. Then see, apa akaroti dispels, upa akaroti delivers, udaharati exemplifies. So upasargaha kriyarthan baladanyatra niyate. So it takes away the meaning of the verbal group. And gati sabnyakaha. So upasargas are also coming under gati sabnyaka. So others are some uri karoti. Uri karoti means accepts. Saha uri, that uri is aware. So we can add words to uri. Pradur bhavati, bhu dhatu or krim dhatu. We can add different roots and we can get different meanings. So chvi dach pratyantaha. Chvi is some kind of pratyaya. Chvi and dach. So shukli bhavati. Shukli bhavati means it becomes white. Something is not white, that becomes white. That is shukli bhavati. Shukli karoti, so whitens. Something was not white, but we are making it white. So shukli is aware. And patapada karoti. Patapada means that is something makes a sound of patapada. So all touch pratyaya. This is dach pratyaya. And sima karoti. All those are make the sound sima. So all these are gati sapnaka. And sometimes dhunyanukaranaha. So anukaroti, imitates. Bhut karoti means imitates the sound of blowing. Sakshat prabhatayaha means sakshat karoti, midhya karoti, falsifies, etc. So all these, we can add these avyas to the verb. Artha vishesha, puraskaroti, tiraskaroti, etc. And another category of avyaya is karma pravachaniyaha. So the karma pravachaniya, they are not upasargas because kriya yoga na. Okay, for example, anupaninim anne vayyakaranaha. Anu means after. Anupaninim. And it changes the vibhakti also. See, because of anu, it is getting dvitiya. Paninim. Anupaninim anne vayyakaranaha. After panini, other grammarians, it says. So apsaraso ati. Iyam rupena apsaraso ati. So it means beyond, surpassing. Ati. Iyam rupena apsarasa apekshaya ati. Ityartha. And kriya visheshanani. So that also in different categories are there. See, sometimes sthana parakam. Sthana parakam means kutaha, from where, tataha, from there, putra. These are sthana, place related. And kala parakam, it's a time related. Adhuna, adya, shvaham. Aham adhuna gacchami. So I am going now itself. So prakara parakam. Prakara, how, tadha, kadham, itham vadati, etc. Like vidha, abhyavritti parakam. Vipsa, shatashaha, hundreds of. Hetu parakam, tasmat karanena, tasmat, it's a hetu, reason, karana. And sadrishyam also, manushyavat. Like that, Kriya Visheshana with different kinds of Kriya Visheshanas there. See, for analyzing a sentence, so if we can fix in what sense these avyas are used, then we can disambiguate maybe sentence also while doing machine translation. So see, it changes the vibhakti sometimes. This is very, these usages are very common. See, antaram, antarena va harim na sukham. So because of antaram, the word antara, avya, antarena, so harim na sukham. It's a harim. Hari gets dvitiya. Ramena saha sita vanam gachati. Actually, Rama is also going, but because of saha, Rama gets tritiya vibhakti. Like that, rite, Rama trite. Ramaya Namaha, because of Nama Shabda getting Ramaya. Sometimes it changes the vibhakti. And again, we can classify into different ways. See, Yadrichika Shabdaha. So, cha, etc. That expands the meaning. So, Nama Pada Pratirupakaha. For example, so instead of no Nama, we can use similar to Nama, nouns. Diva, Nattam Divam, Dishtya. Luckily, in Shakuntala, Dishtya, the word Dishtya is used. So, luckily, Rahasi, secretly. So, then Sarvanama Pratirupakaha. Sometimes, no, for Sarvanama, we can use these avyas. Kim, Yad. Yad means since. So, Tad, etc. Kasmat, why, etc. So sometimes Visheshna, see, sometimes Nama, Nama Pratirupakaha, sometimes Sarvanama Pratirupakaha, sometimes Visheshna Pata Pratirupakaha. For example, Satyam, Sukham, Uchaihi, all those are Visheshna Pata Pratirupakaha. And Kriya Pada Pratirupakaha, Asti, Asmi, these are also Avya. Tadhita Pratyantaha, sometimes no, Tadhita Pratyantas are also used as avyas. Tasil, for example, Gramataha, Vrikshat Parnam Padati or Vrikshataha Parnam Padati. And Sarvada, Da Pratya, Sarvada, Sarvatra, Kutra, etc. And Thal Pratyaha, Tadha, Yatha, etc. Like that, Krit Pratyantaha, Kutvam, Saha Patitva, Padham Patitva Gachati. So these pratyas are having Akanksha also. Agatya, it's a lep, Gantum, Tumun, Karam Karam. It's a Vipsa, after doing again and again. This is Namul. So Samasa, in Samasa also we can have Avya. So these Avyas make a compound word Avya. So there also we can, for example, Pratyekam, Avibhava, Pratyekam, each one, Yadha Shakti, Shaktim Anatikramya, the meaning of Shaktim Anatikramya. So, and Dhwani Anukaranaha. So, Dhwani, Shabdasya Anukarana, imitates the Dhwani, sound, Pata Pata, etc. And Manovega Venchakaha. So, emotions, expressing the emotions. Aho, Ham, Aho, Kashtam, etc. And Upasamhritaha. See, sometimes no, we can sangshepe, we can say in precisely. For example, Bhavan Bhavat. Instead of Bhavan Bhavat, we can use Bhoho. And Bhagavan Bhagavat, we can use Bhagoho. These are also avyas. And Sankshiptaha Shaptachayaha. Sometimes no, we can precise the words also, precise words also. We need not use some 2 to 3 words. So, for example, Asmin Devi. So, Adya. Hine Devi. Hyaha, etc. So, one more important thing is Kriyarthe Vati. So, one sutra is there in Ashtadhyayi. Tena Tulyam Kriya Ched Vati. So, one Vati Pratyaya is there. So, that that indicates a Kriya Tulyata. So, Saha Rajavat Vyavaharati. It means how Raja, how the king behaves, like that he is also behaves. There are no Priyatulyata. One example from Bhattikavyam, Dasharatha Vasuni Toyam Ghanavatvyakarit. Dasharatha is giving money like as if that it rains. Meghaha Varshati, like that. So this is Vat, this is Vat Kriya, Rajavat, that is Avya. Rajavat, Brahmanavat, etc. So we can conclude that the role of Avya in Sanskrit syntax. So sometimes the Avya changes the meaning of the verb. like that upasarga, nirakaroti, agachati, etc. And sometimes, changes the karaka role. For example, adhitishtati, gramam adhitishtati, grame tishtati. If we use without adhi, grame tishtati, then that is adhikarana and it gets saptami. Grame tishtati. When we add adhi, so the adhi has the meaning of saptami, adhikaranatva. So adhitishtati. So gramam adhitishtati. So changes the karaka. And no, sometimes functions of vibhaktis. For example, tasil, gramataha, gramataha, gramataha agachati, athava gramat agachati. Sometimes connecting sentences. For example, iti, saha atra agachadu iti katheti. Sometimes, sometimes iti indicates even karma, vakya karma also. Karma. That's the indicating vakya karma. So iti means saha tatra gacchatu iti vadati. Kim vadati? Saha tatra gacchatu iti vadati. So that saha tatra gacchatu, complete karma, vakya karma is indicated by iti. Sometimes adverb, uchchaihi gayati, mandam chalati, etc. So sometimes shades of syntactical meaning. For example, dyotakas, eva, iva, sagacchatyeva, etc. Sometimes expanding the meaning, arthavistaraha, cha, api, etc. Sometimes visheshartha dyotakam, hi, evam hi, etc. Sometimes prashnarthakaha, sometimes bhavarthakaha. So we can say this is the actually structure of avyayas in Ashtadhyayi. So some ganas, sometimes nipata sapnyas, and kritantas. Kridanta itself, some mantas, means ends with makaranta, some namul, etc. pratyas. And ajantas are actually in chandas. And kutwa, tosun, kasun, etc. Krit pratyas. And tadhite asarva vibhakti. So the few shabdas, few words that cannot take different vibhaktis. And samase, avayabhava samasa. This is the whole structure of entire structure of Avaya Prakaranam. So we can see that Panini has assigned